You must learn the ways of the Force if you're to come with me to Alderaan.
Alderaan? I'm not going to Alderaan. I've got to get home. It's late. I'm in port as it is.
I need your help, Luke. She needs your help. I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
speak of. If ever there's a question, the answer is to love. The answer is to love. There's a chip that's on my shoulder, sucking us into quicksand. The temperature is getting colder, backwards taking second hand. There's a chip that's on my shoulder, sucking us into quicksand. The temperature is getting colder, backwards taking second hand.
to seek Yoda.
You know him?
Take it to him, I will.
Return. 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 Return.
Bear on. Bear on. Bear on. Rise bear. Bear on. Bear. Hashtag. Bear. Bear on. Rise pussy. Bear on bear. Hashtag. Bear on. Rise pussy. Bear on bear on. Bear. Hashtag. Bear. Bear on. Rise pussy. Bear on bear. Hashtag. Bear on. Rise pussy. Bear on bear on. Bear. Hashtag. Bear. Bear on. Rise.
Watch this.
Laser brain. Why?
To find the John.
Laser brain. Why? Laser brain. Why?
To find the John.
Laser brain. Why?
To find the John.
Bear on. Bear. Hashtag. Bear. Bear on. Rise.
Laser brain. Why?
To find the John.
Laser brain. Why?
To find the John.
Bear on. Bear on. Bear on. Bear on.
Hey, I hit pause on the music. Hey, YouTube, how's it going? That was the most seamless transition ever done in the history of WSTR, of course. We're going to go ahead and get going here as soon as I can pull up my notes. And there we go. Let's just jump right into it. Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Aaron Julian, and this is WSTR, Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 248. We hope you and yours are well, and with everything crazy going on, we want to continue to be a platform that promotes positivity, life, and hope, and a little Star Wars along the way. Today, we're going to be talking to fellow cosplayer, Julie Wilk. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, but before we find out about all the fun Julie's having without us, let's go ahead and see who else we got here. Mr. Todd Hoffman.
Hello there, men, everyone.
Pleasure to have you on. The girls have the night off. They got a break this week, but that's okay. We got a fun, great episode coming up for you right now. But first, Todd, why don't you go ahead and tease that news?
I will do my best Heather impression. No, I won't. I will just say the following. Okay. 7.
Okay.
Okay. 9.
Gotcha.
And I want to see the baby.
Perfect. That's all we got.
Yeah. You just go to Ring Out, write those things down, see if you can figure out the secret sauce there. So that'll be later in news of the week. All right, but without further ado, let's jump into our main topic. All right, well, Julie, Carla had the pleasure of meeting you at Rhode Island Comic Con. You were brave enough to talk to your friend and find out a little bit more about you and what you're doing in the cosplay world. But we'll start off with a real easy question. How did you get into Star Wars?
Well, to start with that one, I would have to go back to a magical time called the 90s.
Okay.
So I was born in the mid-90s.
Right.
And back then, of course, the big hype was that the prequels were coming out. And, you know, seeing all the advertisements everywhere, seeing all the toys coming out, I got interested. I was like, all right, what's this all about? I've never seen it before. And my father, who's also a big Star Wars fan, he explained Star Wars. There were 3 movies that came out in the late 70s, early 80s, and then he showed them to me, and I really liked them. And at that point, we had seen the 3 original trilogy movies.
Okay.
And in 1999, that's when Phantom Menace came out, the episode 1 for the prequels. And
Right.
I had gone to the theater with him for that one and for the second episode as well. But the one special thing that I always remember is going to episode 3 with my brother, who was actually cosplaying Luke at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Nice. Cool. So you're a prequel baby. You kind of grew up on the prequels. Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. That's cool. So was viewing Star Wars like a family thing?
Oh
Sure?
yeah, all the time. We used to watch all the movies together, and we even went to Star Wars Day in 2005 at what was MGM Studios at the time, now Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, because that was the opening for episode 3, because the movie was coming out, so they wanted to have a big festival. And actually my brother and I dressed up for that. That was the first time I had worn something for Star Wars. I was dressed up as Padme from the second episode before the arena scene when she's wearing the white outfit. And my brother was dressed as Anakin. So we had a fun time together. And that was our big bonding moment, is that when we went to see episode 3 together, we actually went in those costumes. And, and I always said that if I was going to go to a convention with my brother, that I'd want to do Luke and Leia, because that's the perfect sibling cosplay. Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So it sounds like you started to cosplay early. Now with those costumes, like how did that, were those store-bought? Did you make them? Like what was the process there?
So back early on when I was a kid, when I was a young one, my
a young Padawan,
a young Padawan. My brother and I took trips to Walt Disney World pretty frequently with my parents. So every year I went, my mom had bought me a Disney princess dress, right? And years later, I had looked back on it thinking, oh, well, dressing up really, gave me confidence and it made me feel nice. And I really liked being a different character that I enjoyed being. It was nice stepping into someone who wasn't me for once.
Right.
So that's how later on, when I was a teenager and learned about the convention scene, I was interested. And in 2012, it was my first time going to a convention, and my first convention ever was Anime Boston 2012. So
2012.
Ever since then, it's just gone uphill since. I started making my own costumes, and I currently have probably over 24 cosplays in my closet that I've made myself.
Well, well, we'll get to that in just a second. So why was Anime 2012 like your debut? What triggered that? Was it just like age, costume? What was going on there that you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this now?
Well, at the time, I attended high school at Boston Latin School. And if you know anything about Boston Latin School, it's a testing school that you have to get into, and it preps you for college. So essentially a bunch of nerds in one school.
Right.
So
Got it.
There was talk about, there's a convention coming downtown, and, people were talking about getting tickets. And I was like, oh, what is it about? And they told me, well, it's called Anime Boston, and they will have guests from different anime. You can cosplay, you can buy stuff. So I was interested in that. And I decided, you know what, maybe this is the year I should go. Because at the time I was a sophomore in high school. Oh my gosh. Almost 10 years ago now. I know I'm going to be laughing at myself for saying this in another 10 years, but
You're so young.
I know. And then I'm going to be saying that in 10 years. But anyway, so that was my first convention I was just interested in. And it was an anime convention. So I dressed up as an anime character. If anyone remembers 10 years ago, the big craze was Axis Power's Hetalia. It was an anime about countries that were different characters.
Oh, I remember
And-
that.
Yeah, and I decided to go as Poland because I come from a Polish family. So
Okay.
and I
I'm
speak
tracking,
it, do the
tracking,
accent,
yes.
everything. So when I was actually at the convention and I used my accent and I spoke Polish, people were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like the character's a male, so they were like, "He speaks Polish." You know, it's always little details like that
Yes.
about cosplay
Yes.
that really make people like excited about it. And that's
Yes.
why I decided to do Luke and Leia with
Uh-huh.
my brother, my actual brother.
Right.
And we're about the same height too. So people have always thought we were twins. That's
Okay.
why we decided to do Luke and Leia for Rhode
Uh-huh.
Island Comic Con.
Nice.
And now that I'm married,
Yeah.
I just came up on my 1-year anniversary right before Rhode Island Comic Con.
Congratulations.
So
Yes.
thank you. So my husband wanted to get in on the action, and he was like,
Hey
"You
man, like you
And I-
got 20
Yeah.
in the closet. I at least need one. You know, let's go. All right.
But he's like, you know what? I'll be Han Solo. He's a badass. I love him. And I'm like, that sounds perfect. So the three of us
Yeah.
decided, let's just do this and go to Rhode Island Comic Con for the day. And we got a
Wow.
lot of attention. And people really
Yes.
like the fact that, Luke and Leia were actually brother and sister, and Leia and
Yes.
Han were actually married.
It just writes itself. It just
Yeah.
writes itself right there. Right. So so talk about your Star Wars costumes. Like what kind of Star Wars costumes you have? Let's just start there. Like what
Okay.
kind of Star Wars costumes? Yeah.
So as of now, Leia was
Yeah.
my first Star Wars costume that I had made recently, since I was dressed up as Padme when I was 10 years old.
Right,
But I
right.
do plan to make more Star Wars cosplays because
Mhm.
my husband was like, "I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'2". Maybe I can pull off being Darth Vader." And I was like, "Well, if you do cosplay Darth Vader, maybe I can do Padme."
Right. Yeah.
So we are thinking of doing that in the future.
Uh-huh.
He also wanted to be Anakin from episode 3 as well. So those
Yeah.
are a couple cosplays you'll probably see us at conventions of in the future.
Uh-huh.
And my brother was interested in going to more conventions as well. So maybe I'll make him a different version of Luke, like maybe from episode 5. That would
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So what costumes do you have right now for Star Wars?
Well, for Star Wars, I just have Leia.
Leia.
And that's it. My brother
it,
has
okay.
Luke, and my husband has Han. So,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
we
so then,
are planning many, many more in the future. This
So
was
then-
the first of many.
Right. Of course. So what non-Star Wars costumes do you have and which one's your favorite?
Well, I have a lot of non-Star Wars cosplays,
Okay.
but they're mostly Disney.
Okay.
Particularly Disney princesses, because I'm actually
Okay.
a princess party performer as well. I go to kids' parties and I entertain dressed up as their favorite princesses.
Oh,
So,
so
yeah.
it kind of it's kind of slush fund. You kind of feel, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
so
So
currently,
do you make them yourselves? Or you
I
make them
do.
yourself? Okay.
I do. Most of my
Yeah.
costumes I made myself, with the exception of a few gifts. My Ariel dress, for example, that was a gift from my husband for Christmas last year, which was a very
Cool.
thoughtful gift
Wow.
because it was a very expensive dress.
Right.
But most of them I do make. In particular, one of my favorite cosplays that I've made is Anastasia Romanoff from the Anastasia movie, because
Okay.
I am part Russian as well, and I speak it.
Okay.
I speak 5 languages, so
Oh,
there's a
okay.
lot going on in here. But
so you're Polish,
since-
Russian. Okay, got it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So I decided, I wanted to do Anastasia, but I wanted
Uh-huh.
to make her when I had the skill set to make that dress, because it is
Sure.
a big dress, the big Grand Duchess dress that she wears at the end. You'll see it on my Instagram too if you look at it. But that
Okay.
project probably took me about 6 weeks to make, because it was such a big dress and it was so much fabric. But it's special to me because it's a connection to my heritage. And Anastasia is the only Slavic princess I can think of. There's no Polish princess, no Ukrainian princess, nothing like that. So she was kind of my connection to my representation growing up, because she was Russian. Well, all the other princesses were, European, like German, French, like Belle, for example. But Anastasia is my favorite for that reason, and because I actually wear my grandmother's jewelry when I cosplay her.
Oh,
And as you know,
cool.
Anastasia and her babushka, her grandma, had a very
Right, right.
nice relationship with each other. So when my grandmother passed in 2019, I wanted to have a nice way of honoring her memory. So whenever I
Gotcha.
dress up as Anastasia, my bracelets, my earrings, my necklace is all my grandmother's.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then another cosplay I can tell you about, Megara from Hercules. So
Okay.
I am notoriously known for my sass. And anyone who knows me knows this. So naturally, Megara would be a very fitting character for me.
Okay.
And
That's one I haven't seen in a long time. I've seen Hercules. Yeah.
what's in one of my top favorite Disney movies, Hercules, definitely.
Okay.
And Megara is probably my all-time favorite Disney female character. And I'm going to get her tatted on me at some point. I have a few Disney tattoos as well. All of them are hidden underneath everything. But yeah, they're there.
They're there.
They're still there.
Right.
But yeah, Megara was always fun to be because I like, being myself and using my own sass. But I also like to talk about how Hades is in the underworld. You know what I mean? I love doing her voice too. It's a lot of fun. And people laugh all the time. So
Yeah.
it makes
Right.
me happy. And then I guess another cosplay I can talk about is another cosplay that's non-Disney and
Okay.
something that you wouldn't expect. But my husband and I are huge South Park fans.
Okay. Okay.
So we actually I cosplay Stan Marsh and he cosplays as Kyle Broflovsky. And that's another cosplay we're going to be bringing to a convention soon. We were going to bring it to Rhode Island Comic Con if we were going to go for multiple days.
Yeah.
But because we had a very busy schedule, I was preparing for surgery at the time. It was just easy to go one day. And since my brother wanted to go, since there were a lot of celebrities from The Mandalorian and the Clone Wars and everything, we wanted to do that Star Wars cosplay. So that's why we went as Luke, Leia, and Han.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how does one cosplay as a South Park character?
Well, I bought that one. I actually did not make myself.
Okay.
I just bought the pieces because they have, regular clothes, right?
Yeah.
So I just, for Stan, right, I bought a short black wig for his hair because he has black hair. I got his signature hat that I put on top of the wig. And then I have the jacket that is a brown jacket that I've added a red collar to because he also has that. And I have the red mittens and jeans.
Nice.
And people recognize
There
me
you
as
go.
Stan Marsh. Yeah. And sometimes if I'm at a convention and I just want to have some downtime, I'll throw him on because he's an easy costume to get into.
Right.
It's not a ball gown or anything like Anastasia or Belle,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to think of those things. Sometimes you don't think of those things until you're at the convention, like, oh, this is not really the most convenient costume. But
I will say though that for being Princess Leia, her costume was very comfortable, and I can see why
good.
she wore it when she was defending the galaxy. So
right. Gotta be comfortable, gotta be comfortable for sure. That's awesome. You kind of mentioned this, but why do you like cosplaying so much? Like, what is it for you that you just like doing that?
Well, it kind of allows me to escape reality and kind of dive into a world that I fell in love with or I grew up with as a kid, something that doesn't exist in our world because we have so many problems with our world, and sometimes we just want to take a step away and step into something we enjoy. And when I was growing up, I was a big Disney fan, big Star Wars fan, so those movies have had a lasting impact on me as a person.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to dress up and cosplay, because I wanted to experience and pretend like I was these characters because I felt a special connection with them. And I personally believe that if you like a character, cosplay that character just for fun, and you might like it and you might want to cosplay more. And there's nothing wrong about any cosplay. People buy their cosplays, people make their cosplays. It's all just for fun.
Yeah. It's in the word costume play, so
have some fun
awesome.
with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. You gotta have fun with it. Yeah. I mean, Aaron, you know, you kind of just like, hey, I have no hair, so it's like, let's be Hitman, you know?
Yeah, why not? Or
Yeah,
Picard.
right, exactly. Ricard, right, exactly.
Yeah.
What's kind of your next project? You kind of mentioned you're hinting at maybe doing some different Star Wars stuff, but what's the next one on the horizon for you?
Well, the next one I'm currently working on.
Okay, currently in progress.
Yeah, so work
okay.
in progress. I just have to go
Right,
to
right.
get some more of my materials that I want to make for the costume. But if you've seen Beauty and the Beast, which most people have, but if you
Right.
haven't, in Beauty and the Beast, in the library scene where the Beast is showing Belle the library, she is wearing a green dress that you don't really see cosplay too often. Like you see people in her town dress, the dress that she's in the village with Gaston with, and you
Yes.
see people obviously do what
The
I've
the
done too.
ballroom.
I've done the ball gown too. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, especially because I had a lot of green fabric left over. And since I'll be moving cross country actually in July, I'll be out in the
goodness.
Colorado area. Yeah.
Oh,
So I decided I want to get rid of some of the fabric I have. So I thought this would be a good way to start getting rid of some of that fabric and using it for a constructive project that I've been wanting to do for a while, because I loved Beauty and the Beast growing up, because obviously, you know, being a 90s kid growing up with the Renaissance Disney movies, that was one of my favorites. And my hair is not naturally black. It's actually dyed. Spoiler.
what?
But my hair
What?
is brown. So as a kid with long brown hair, I thought of, oh, people like think of me as Belle because I like reading and I like science, you know? So she was a special character.
And
for
you're a
me.
strange one. That one is a
Oh,
one.
I am
yeah,
a strange one.
Right,
Yes.
right, right.
Not
There's
like
a whole
other
song
girls.
about how odd she is. You know?
Look at her nose in those books. You know?
But yeah, that is currently my project that I'm working on. My apartment has become an entire glitter bomb because of that project. Because the entire fabric I'm using is covered in sparkles, and it's all over my apartment, all over my cats, just everywhere.
So I'm trying to. So it is a little glitter. I'm trying to picture that one.
Well, I'm doing my own design for it based on fabric, because like whenever I work on a cosplay, I go based off of the movie, but I also go based off of what I want to do, incorporating my own design with the costume. So this one I wanted to make a little bit glittery, because if you look at it in the movie, it's kind of plain. It's only 2 colored shades of green. So I wanted to give it a little bit of flair. So I'm adding sparkles, I'm adding trim to it that's going to be silver and a couple of rhinestones and stuff. But it's a whole project that I'm working on, and I'll be posting on my Instagram about it, because I'm going to try to get most of it done before I have to go get my surgery next month. But after that, I'm going to be finishing up the costume before the end of the year.
Oh, that's bold. It's bold.
That's what I'm doing with my
deal.
surgery recovery time.
No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, no big deal. I'll get it done before Christmas. No problem. So for somebody that wants to get into cosplay, you kind of mentioned the one is like do somebody that you like to be, or a character that resonates with you. Are there any other tips you would give somebody that is you would like to get into cosplay?
Well, I would say if they're looking to make their own cosplays, I would definitely check out some online tutorials for people that have made something similar to something you want to do, and then see what they've done for the pattern, see what kind of the creative liberties they've taken, and figure out what you want to do. Every time, for example, if I'm working on a project, I'll see what other cosplayers have done with a similar project that they've worked on. And then I'll say, okay, I really like what this person has done. Maybe I can use this pattern for it and incorporate it into the costume. So if you are looking to get into costume making, for example, I would just check out some online tutorials. There are patterns online for certain costumes. Like if you want to make, for example, a Disney princess cosplay, say Cinderella, for example, you could look up online patterns that could be used for Cinderella dress design, and it will come up. But in general, I would say if you're looking to get into cosplay, I would do some research on what you want to do, for example, because you can pick whatever you want, whatever character you want. Cosplay is for everyone, everybody. And there's been characters I've cosplayed. Like I've cosplayed Honest John, the fox from Pinocchio, for example, and people thought that one was pretty cool. So,
Right.
For me personally, cosplay means, I want to get people's attention. Like, what are people going to look at and be like, wow, that's an interesting idea. So I tend to do cosplays that, you don't really see, because I like to have a little uniqueness whenever I go to a convention.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in general, if you're just looking to start off with cosplay, have fun with it. Like, look up whatever you want to do, see what the character is, be like, hey, if they have this color hair, maybe I can order this wig for myself.
Right.
And then just go from there. It's make it what you want. That's my rule with cosplay.
It's a good rule. I like it. That's awesome. What you are there? You said you're moving here. So are you looking at other conventions that you want to go to now that you're going to be moving across the state, across the country here?
Yep. I am actually going to be leaving the New England area, because I go to a lot of New England conventions where people are familiar with me.
Yeah.
But as of July, being in Colorado, I'm looking to see what's out there. I really don't know too much about what's out there. So I've been starting to ask around. I know that, there's standard places like Denver Comic Con, for example, because there's Comic Cons in each state. But if anybody knows anything out there, please let me know, because I'm interested in going to conventions. But I'm looking at a few places like Colorado, Nevada, just places nearby that I could possibly go out into the convention scene, because I'd like to meet new people, and I'd like to see, the talent that people bring to the convention scene. That's always been fun for me, just seeing the creative liberties people take with stuff. And I would be really excited to see what it's like out there versus New England,
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty amazing. Like you said, it's pretty amazing, like what people do. And sometimes it's like the simplest stuff. You're just like, first of all, why didn't I think of that? That's amazing. And I don't want to copy it, but I do want to copy it because it looks great, so it's fun. It's fun that way. Now, have you, Carla's part of the 501st and the Rebel Legion. Heather, who couldn't be here as well, she's part of the 501st. I'm part of the 501st. Are you thinking about going official with maybe a Star Wars costume?
Oh, that would be cool. I haven't given it too much thought, but like I said, there are several Star Wars costumes I do want to do. So if the opportunity presented itself, like I said, I'm used to doing like charity events, birthday parties for kids, like everything. So I'd be interested in doing something like that, because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another avenue. Obviously, it just make it a little bit more official, But yeah, I just didn't know if you thought about that, or trying to.
I would definitely like to.
Yeah. I mean, because I think that's like you said, it's just that ability. It kind of gives you an ability to do those things and opportunities for volunteer work and all that kind of fun stuff, which makes it kind of a cool. It's a cool thing, and it's like, again, you have like-minded people that are geeking out about the same stuff. So now, are any of your what's your family think of this crazy cosplay stuff that you do? Are they
Well, of course, growing up in a very traditional Slavic family,
yes,
my parents were questioning my choices as a teenager. They were like, okay, maybe this is just a phase and she'll grow out of it,
Right.
I started cosplaying when I was 16 years old, and now I'm 25. So I've been cosplaying for almost a decade at this point.
Right.
At first, they were kind of weirded out by the idea. They're like, oh, you're going to go to a convention with a bunch of weirdos like that? What? But, after a couple of years that I've been attending, and they've seen all the fun I'm having and stuff, they thought, okay, maybe this isn't such a bad idea. And then at the time, too, going to college, I wanted to make a little extra money, because being in college, you're broke all the time. So I did princess parties for kids. And once I did that, my parents were like, okay, she's making money. It's all good.
That was it. That was it.
That was
like,
it.
oh,
Just, okay, if she's making money, that's all right then.
right. She can follow her passions as long as it's making money. Yeah.
But nowadays they've come to accept it, and they're actually proud of it. They're like, yeah, my daughter's a cosplayer. What does your daughter do? Because it is cool. It's kind of like living a double life, being a chemist in the lab, and then on the weekends I'm a princess.
right. What do your friends think about it?
Well, all of my friends are also nerds like me.
Oh, okay.
So most of them are cosplayers. And I actually just went to a convention this past weekend, a very small convention in Massachusetts called Northeast Comic Con.
Okay.
And yesterday I went with my best friend who also cosplays, and we were dressed up as Anna and Elsa, and the kids loved it, obviously. So we were quite a hit at the convention. So
nice. Nice. That's awesome. So who are you?
Who am I? Oh, I was Anna yesterday.
Anna yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you have both?
I actually have a thing against cosplaying characters with blonde hair because I don't think I look good as them. So I kind of avoid like Elsa, Cinderella, Rapunzel.
Gotcha.
I'm used to my dark hair and being blonde and having to lighten my eyebrows. It doesn't sit right with me. I like being characters.
Not even with a tasteful wig.
Well, maybe if the wig was,
Yeah, right.
But in general, like it's just odd seeing myself with very light hair. So especially since I have dark eyes and stuff too.
Gotcha.
My husband's the same way. He is a brunette as well, but he has blue eyes. So if he wanted to be a blonde character, he could probably pull it off. Well. And he has been Kristoff for a couple of kids' birthday parties. So sometimes we make exceptions where I'll go, if someone can't be Elsa one day, I'm like, all right, you know what? It couldn't work for one party. So.
Right. So you do have an Elsa dress.
I do. Yeah. I have actually made a few Elsa dresses in the past as well.
Oh.
Currently, I just have her travel outfit from the second Frozen movie because everyone likes that one for some reason. The blue dress, the short blue dress that she has.
The short blue dress.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Gotcha.
And it's also one of the most comfortable costumes that she has because you look at all of her other costumes, like just the dresses she has, like the coronation dress and then the ice dress.
Yeah.
They're so elaborate and they're also just not the most comfortable, especially being in a corset most of the time. You're not it's not comfortable, especially at kids' parties when all the kids are trying to hug you and stuff. So
and you can't bend down. You're like, listen,
I know it's like I have to kind of like bend down and then bend over. But you know what? Now that I am cosplaying Princess Leia, I would love to do a birthday party as her because that costume is so comfortable. I could sleep in it, I swear.
Nice. That's nice. That's awesome. Like that's some of the practical things, like you said, just like bending down and doing those kind of interactions. Like, oh yeah, you got to do something a little different to make that happen.
Especially being in a ball gown too. Like if I'm Belle, for example.
Yeah.
And that's just a mess and a half at parties. Let me tell you. Especially when I'm driving in a car with a big skirt, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is normal.
Right.
Pray there's no escalator.
That's awesome.
That's one thing I have to watch out for at conventions, though, whenever I'm wearing a ball gown like that, escalators, because sometimes they get greasy and they can get stuff on your cosplay. And that's actually happened to me before at Rhode Island Comic Con. So, yeah, but it happens,
Yeah. Escalators. The death of cosplay. Yeah. It's like,
the death of cosplay.
I guess we have to take the elevator, Yeah, it's crazy. That's awesome. Okay, so a lot of things happened in Star Wars. So what has you excited for Star Wars? What's coming? What's got you're rubbing your hands like, okay, I'm ready for this. Like what do you like?
One thing I'm really excited for in particular is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's coming out.
Okay.
Because when you think about it, you don't really know much about Obi-Wan's story other than, he was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn in the
Yep.
first episode.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden he's a Jedi Master in the second episode, you know? So you have a whole, or like, how did he even become, you know, a young Padawan at the time? How did he want to be a Jedi? We don't even know that stuff. So there's, and especially when you look back at the movies, like the third and the fourth movie, that time in between when Darth Vader was ruling the galaxy and Luke was growing up and becoming who was originally going to save the galaxy and bring peace to the galaxy. What did Obi-Wan Kenobi do during that time? What, like, did he went to hiding? We know the Jedi went to hiding, but what did he do? What did he communicate with other Jedi? We don't know. So I would really like to see what they do with that show, because we really don't know too much about Obi-Wan's story, really.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the scene where he finds out that Anakin didn't die on that hill in Mustafar. And
yes.
I wonder how he found out. Like, was he just out collecting the paper in the morning? He's like sipping his coffee.
Like he's got
down the headlines.
He's got like his bantha.
All right.
Got his bantha.
Anakin on Mustafar. All right.
Yep.
There's that.
Lord Vader survives.
He's
Like,
there.
oh. Yeah.
It's like the entire galaxy just did a collective face palm.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Padme
You think,
was just heartbroken.
You think they'll go to like young Obi-Wan flashbacks? You think that might be a thing?
I think that might be a possibility, because, you know, there's so much they could do with it. I am also a script writer myself. And I've written a bunch of films that I'm actually going to be.
Do you
I
bake?
do a lot.
Do
I'm
you
a
bake?
very worn out person. Trust me.
Making us
I
all
run
look
around
bad.
all the time. But I know, like, as a script writer, I can kind of guess what they might do. Kind of, you know, think, okay, this would be interesting if they did this versus this. So I can kind of see from a script writer's perspective, you know, what would work with a story like this. There could be flashbacks to young Obi-Wan that we don't even know about that could, you know, help him out in what, like, his, you know, when he was training to be a Jedi. We don't know all of that information. So it would be cool to see flashbacks, or just, again, when you mentioned him finding out that Anakin was on Mustafar as well, it would be interesting to see all of that. Or even just seeing, like, maybe he's checking out Luke's progress on Tatooine, visiting the family, you know? Like, we have no idea. So it would be interesting to see that.
Yeah, we don't know.
All I want is Qui-Gon Jinn. Give me a little Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. We don't know Obi-Wan's relationship with, like, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
was he like a weirdo hermit, or was he like a family friend?
3.
Yeah.
Well, and you can tell. Yeah, I mean, in episode 4, at that time, Uncle Owen is a little salty.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't like Jedi, and he clearly doesn't like. He knows of Anakin or too much of his father. So I don't know if he know. Like, it would be interesting if he knew the actual identity.
Yeah. That would be.
I don't know.
I would be interested to see what they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so much unknown.
Yeah, he's totally salty, but like
you can see the sass.
there's definitely a reason they brought Hayden back. So
yes, I did. That's what I was going to bring up, because they mentioned that Hayden was in it. So maybe there are flashbacks of him training Anakin, you know, or there might be flashbacks of what happened with Mustafar, what happened in between, like, or just things in general that we haven't seen in the main films.
Yeah, so, I mean, and you know, with like the de-aging technology, we've seen it heavily used in Marvel, right? So Sam Jackson looked mighty fine in Captain Marvel. You know, Kirk Douglas looked amazing in Guardian of the Galaxy 2. Yes. You know, I'm trying, and then like even Tony Stark, they did that. Yeah, they did that. I forget which one that was, where they kind of, when he was talking to his dad, and he was like almost like a teenager type guy, you know. So it's like
Tom Cruise. Oh wait, he doesn't want you to know that.
No, Paul Rudd. Yeah, that's the guy. He de-ages all the time. So But yeah, there's a reason. There is a clear reason they brought Hayden back, because really, at the end of the day, anyone could be Darth Vader.
Exactly.
But the reason that you have Hayden, there's a specific tone and emotion that you want to either get from him behind the mask.
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, anybody could be in the suit, but it's that Hayden part and the Hayden Obi-Wan connection that would be.
Seeing what happened when Darth Vader started, ruling over, and Obi-Wan went into hiding because, with the Force, they would be able to know where they are and everything. So I wonder what kind of feelings they would have and what they would say.
Yeah. Well, technically, they can throw off their GPS location and be like, I'm tuning off this part of the Force here. But yeah, there's definitely something there with the flashback. So that is definitely an exciting series that, hopefully we get a little bit more news here in the future. We're all pumped for Disney Plus Day, and they gave us just like a little bit.
I know.
Right. Boo.
We want more.
Anything else? Yeah, we want more. Anything else that has you jazzed or excited for Star Wars?
Oh, there's so much, but I just think in particular, I feel like the Obi-Wan series is just, I am so excited about that one because again, like there's so much potential. Yes. And again, from a scriptwriter's perspective, knowing that there's so much potential, I would be interested to see what they did with the story.
Very good. Awesome. Cool. Well, where can people find you on the old socials?
Well, the easiest way to find me is on Instagram because I post close every day, if not close to every day. I have a lot of content still that I have to post from Rhode Island Comic Con, so expect more Star Wars cosplay. And then I have a couple of pictures that I took this weekend at Northeast Comic Con, and I have a few other cosplays I want to share from that. But my Instagram handle is juju_creative.cosplay. And that's the easiest way to find me. But I also have a joint cosplay account with my husband, which is called chronically_cute_cosplay. And we do, different pairings and stuff. So we've done Snow White and Prince Florian, for example, Ariel and Eric, Han and Leia, Stan and Kyle, which we consider a pairing too.
Right.
So yeah, that's the
awesome.
easiest way to find me. But there are people on Facebook too. Another way to find me is that I am Polish Wolf cosplay because my last name is the Polish word for wolf. So that's why I have that one.
Nice.
And my husband took my last name, so he is now a Wilk too. So, yep.
Perfect.
That's the easiest way to find us. And he's also on my Instagram too in my bio. So he does mostly video games and streaming. So if we have a couple of viewers that are interested in video games or they're on Twitch a lot. He's on Twitch too, and you can find him on my Instagram in my bio as well.
That's convenient. That's good that you do shout out. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I always post which convention I'm going to next.
Gotcha.
The one that I'm going to next actually is KatsuCon in February, which I attended once in 2020, right before the lockdown. February of 2020, right before chaos. Yep. So we went for the first time. We loved it, and we're going back again this year, and we're excited.
That's awesome.
Because it's finally back this year. So
that we had the same thing here, C2E2. It's a big Comic Con here in Chicago, and it's usually in April. It's been April for pretty much since the beginning, and for every reason,
that's like Anime Boston. So
So for every reason, in 2020, they're like, February, and I was mad. Like I was like, this is throwing off my whole thing, man. Like, I like April. Why do you have to do it in February? And
changing up the routine. Come on.
Yeah, you're messing up the routine. And we got it in, and then it was late February. It was like late February, and then the whole world shut down. You're like, at least I had one more con, or at least if I had a better attitude. I thought like, I should have had a better attitude then because I would have really appreciated it, which I did because I didn't get to, cosplay forever. And it's like, oh,
Yeah. I did miss conventions during that time, but
Yeah.
I made it a productive time to work on cosplay. So that year in general, I usually debut about 6 cosplays a year. Last year, I think it was 9 cosplays or something
Okay.
like that. So,
Okay.
and it was some projects that I've been putting off for a while. So I'm really happy that I was able to
Yeah.
use the lockdown to get that done. And then finally, my first convention back was Boston Fan Expo this past year. And that was a lot of fun. Everyone was very polite. Like everyone was good
Yeah.
about keeping their masks on, keeping their hands sanitized. Everyone just wanted to be safe and have a good time.
Right,
And
right.
I had such a fun time. I actually performed at Boston Fan Expo because like I mentioned, I do kids' birthday parties. So my company was asked to perform at Boston Fan
Oh.
Expo, where I actually performed a song in Russian as Anastasia.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that was a lot of fun.
And you sing too?
I do, yeah.
Aaron, we are clearly
I try to keep myself
Master.
busy so that
We
I
got a
can
Jedi
avoid
Master
the
here.
existential dread of
Right, right,
life,
right.
you know?
Yes.
Can you tell me the spell that you're using for the time? Because I want that. Clearly you're extending that 24 hours somehow, some way,
I wish. If there were more hours in the day, I'd be able to do more or sleep more. So. Maybe I'd actually have time to relax for once, you know?
Right.
Between being a
Yes.
scientist and a cosplayer, it's a lot. But now,
Yeah.
because next month I am going to be getting surgery. It's not a major surgery, just in case anyone was wondering. It's not. So
Right, right.
it's a 2-week recovery, and it
Yeah.
should be. It's a procedure to help with some pain I've been dealing with for about 10 years now. So
Just getting the super
Much
soldier
needed
serum,
then.
everybody. Look
so it
out.
will be a
Yeah,
break.
right.
It will be a break for me. But then, of course, I'm going to use my recovery to work on cosplay. So there.
Yeah.
Oh, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. Of course. That's awesome. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. This was
yeah.
a lot of fun. I was looking forward to this for weeks too, after
Oh,
Carla had mentioned it. Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Well, it's been a pleasure. We definitely wanted to have you back on soon after you do like 20 more costumes by the end of this year.
You know, after the last
yeah.
5 that I have in mind for the year now.
right.
But yes, I would love to come back
Yeah.
and join. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
just let me know when you'd like to do that. And, as long as it doesn't get in the way of my surgery and everything. I actually have
Of
2
course.
surgeries coming up. One is minor, one is major. The major one's in April. So
The major one is what Aaron mentioned is the super soldier serum that you're
Yeah.
doing.
oh yeah.
yeah,
Top
exactly.
secret, but
You'll come back with like a winter soldier arm and everything. It'd be great.
I just come back
Right.
with like
Right.
armor.
Right.
Like robotic
No,
arms.
it's seriously
Yeah.
like
Maybe I'll get
I don't know
Luke's
if you
robotic
recognize my
arm,
red
you know?
arm. I don't know if you recognize my red arm, but it's right here, That's awesome.
But yes,
That's
I would
awesome.
Julie
definitely
Wilk,
love
everybody.
to-
Yes.
Thank you
Thank you
for
so
pronouncing my
much.
name correctly too. Not many people do.
I
And
had
it's
to
one
make
of
up for the
easiest
beginning.
Polish names. Yeah.
Yeah. Mention
At least
that.
I don't have my mother's maiden name. I feel like no one would be able to pronounce that.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
You
there's
gotta
a lot
humor
of-
you gotta humor us. What is it? What is it?
Well, my mother's maiden name is Gotowski. So it's Gutowski. Lots of people pronounce it Gotowski. And I cringe.
Gutowski.
I cringe
Yeah,
just like when
That's
people say pierogies, I'm like, oh, it's already plural. Don't say pierogies. Pierogi is
Pierogi.
plural. It's already
Pierogi.
plural. So if you want to say, hey, I went to get pierogi, people will visualize more than one because it is more than one. If you want to refer to one, it would be a pirog. So
a pirog.
pirog or a pierogi. So pirog is one,
Oh.
pierogi is more than one. Polish
And
lesson
she's
for the day.
educational too. She's just
Yeah.
Well, one
My-
of the 5 languages I know. So
My grandma's
Well,
maiden
three
name
of-
was
3 of them
Jablitsky.
are very similar.
Your grandma's-
What's the maiden name?
Jablitsky. I'm probably butchering
Oh,
it, but
okay.
something like that. It got Americanized to Zablocki. And I'm like, that's lame.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that one of my grandparents, their last name was way longer, but then they Americanized it when they came to
Mm.
Ellis Island. So
Mhm.
Mm.
Same deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We want to respect your time, let you go. So thanks for joining
All
us.
right. Well, thank you very much. And it was lovely talking to you both. And if you guys want to invite me on again, I'd be more than happy to join.
Absolutely. Okay, YouTube, we're going to take a quick break here just to shuffle the chairs around and get Julie out of here. So thanks for joining us. We'll be back momentarily. Welcome back, YouTube. Yep, we're back. Okay, so we've played musical chairs. We're ready to continue with the episode. Here we go. Todd, why don't you go ahead and pay the bills for us, please?
All right. Let me tell you about Audible. Audible is Amazon's audiobook service, and they have over 450,000 titles to choose from, and more are coming every day. So if you want to try a 30-day free trial, you can go to audibletrial.com/WSTR to start your free 30-day trial. And that also gives you the ability to download 2 Audible originals. So Audible also has original content that's only on Audible. And yes, it's exclusive. So you get that. and a book for free. So try your 30-day trial right there at audibletrial.com/WSTR. Another way you can support our podcast is through Patreon, patreon.com/WSTR media. You can be like your current Patreons, Jeremy Myers, Scarab Scuttlebutt, geez, Helena Strikes, Nicholas Schaefer, and Rural Farm Boy. Be like those people and help support the show in a different way. And we're having more content up there very soon. I think I'm going to hit the plunge and jump into this thing and have my own little thing here very, very soon. So stick around for that. So that is 2 ways you can support us. Aaron, I think it's time to take out the trash.
It's time for Twitter Trash Compactor. Okay, so what do we got here? All right. It is hashtag Twitter Trash Compactor time. We are doing an Imperial inspection. What is your favorite Finn? We've got 4 choices here. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, and the Lego Holiday Special. But before we get to that, we had a write-in from the Moisture Farm Report, which I think is a Rural Farm Boy as well. Very specifically...
No. This is a different farmer. This is a different farmer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's
we
different
got too many
Moisture
farm boys.
Come on. Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Got to keep them straight. So this is the Moisture Farm Report. Very specifically, come get it, Finn. And got a little GIF embedded of Finn.
A GIF. Yes.
How dare you?
It's a GIF. It's a GIF.
With Finn on Starkiller Base in the snowy forest with the lightsaber. Come get it.
He's holding the lightsaber. Yes, we talked about this. Yes, he's holding the lightsaber, holding his own against Kylo Ren. That is a pretty cool scene of Finn for sure.
So Todd, which Finn is your favorite Finn?
I talked about this last week. I actually like the Lego Holiday Special Finn. I think it's the best because we know he's a Jedi, and I like that.
Right on. They don't beat around the bush with that one. They just come out and say it.
No, they just come out and say it. And I'm like, that's what you should have done in The Rise of Skywalker, but you didn't. So, nope.
Shameful.
And that's why, Aaron, what did Rise of Skywalker Finn get?
He got shafted is what he got. He also got 4% of the Twitter vote.
Right.
That was number 4.
He got done dirty, man. He got done dirty.
Number 3, Lego Holiday Special coming in with the bronze. So you're in the minority, Todd.
Yeah.
Getting the silver is The Last Jedi Finn. And by a landslide, half of the vote overall, The Force Awakens.
Yeah. No surprise there.
No.
I mean, new character, there's potential there. And he, immediately bonds with Rey, and he's his kind of comes in as a protector, and it's cool. It's a cool character, but
yeah, he had some growth, a little bit of an arc.
Yep. You
rooted for him. He had chemistry with everybody else.
Yes.
If only they could have kept that up for 2 other movies, but Disney had other plans.
Yeah, and if you want to hear us rant and rave about that, just skip one back, and you'll definitely hear all our praises and constructive criticisms.
We had some opinions, everybody.
Yes, we are allowed to do that because guess what? We have a podcast, and that's what it's about. It's not just Well, that's all the trash, right? That's it.
This is not your everyday nerd podcast where we just fanboy over the latest leaks and headlines and things like that. No, we actually have some constructive criticism when it's called for.
That's right.
That's the Twitter trash compactor.
There you go. All right. Now it's time for news of the week.
What do we got, Todd?
All right. Oh my gosh. We got a number.
A number.
A number. So This is coming from comicbook.com. Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett episode count revealed. I love these clickbait titles. I really do. They're fantastic. Yada, 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 words, words, words. But this is coming from straight from Star Wars. It's legit. So it says, this is coming from Star Wars Twitter. Witness the rise of Boba Fett and Fennec Shand in 1 month. That's right.
1 month.
From today of this recording, we are 1 month away from the Book of Boba Fett. It says the Book of Boba Fett, a 7-episode original series begins December 29th on Disney Plus.
Boba Fett has a Twitter account?
At Boba Fett.
Why wasn't I told?
At Boba Fett. You have to follow him now. So the number there, they kind of hit it right there in the plain text. 7 episodes.
7.
We thought seven. So what do you think of this unique episode count there, Aaron?
Well, immediately the first thing I thought of was like, how many episodes did the first season of The Mandalorian have? And it had 8. So we're within the ballpark.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if it's too significant that we're getting 7 instead of 8 for a first season.
Right.
But if they're all like, well, do we know the length of each episode? Because it makes a big difference. Makes a big difference if it's like a 30-minute episode or a 45-minute episode or an hour-long episode. That we might come out even in the end anyway. Because The Mandalorian was kind of all over the place with the episode length. It
truly was. Like if you remember that first season, that episode 2 is like really short. It's like you're like, that's it? Oh, okay. You know, so
see you next
I think
week.
that's kind of the interesting liberty that you have with these streaming stuff now. It's like you're not in the box, you know, you're not in a half-hour slot, you're not in an hour slot, you're in whatever slot you want to be. And so I kind of like that. So it's not like the episode's fat or lean. It's like whatever it wants to be. But I would love for these to be like larger episodes, so you kind of get a full meal. You know what I'm saying? If you give me like 45 minutes on 7, that would be outstanding. But it would be great. But yeah, it's like you said, they 8 for season 1 of Mando. I think was it 9? It was more for season 2. I can't remember, dude. What is it?
Season 2 had goodness, from 9 to 16, that's 8. Yeah.
8. Yeah.
Math, everybody.
Math. So I'm fine with it. I think that's cool. So there you have it. That is coming from Star Wars itself, at Boba Fett. I love that Boba Fett has a Twitter account, you know?
Yeah, cracks me up. So that's 7 weeks of Boba Fett, 2 Disney Plus monthly subscriptions. And then do we know what's coming after that? As far as what's next for Star Wars?
Well, I mean, I think it's Obi-Wan. I think we're gonna have like a little break, and hopefully April would be a fantastic time to drop some Obi-Wan. If they are really, really smart, you drop it on May the 4th.
Yeah. That
I mean,
wouldn't that be a treat, Todd?
Wouldn't that be like, what are you gonna do today? I'm gonna watch Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen just like, yes, let's do this. I would think that'd be awesome to drop on May the 4th,
It would.
So, I mean, really in the pipeline next year is you have Obi-Wan, Andor, Bad Batch season 2, and maybe Mandalorian season 3. I don't know if that's going to get in there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, but definitely, I mean, we know we know baked in the oven is Obi-Wan and Andor. So hopefully we'll get those, soonish, So yeah. All right. Next up, digitalspy.com says, again, I love these titles. I love them. I just love clickbait titles. Adam Driver reveals which Star Wars props he kept from the set. He says, and the quote on the subquote underneath the title is, I wear my helmets when I drive just to confuse people. I love it. Oh, wow. So good. So he says I have lots of stuff, the actor revealed in a recent BBC radio. It says, I for sure have a helmet. I have 2 helmets, actually a lightsaber. I have stuff from the Dead Don't Die. Every movie I try to take something. And that's where he says, I wear my helmets when I drive just to confuse people. He jokes. What do you think? I mean, if you're an actor, wouldn't you want to take a prop from a movie
probably
set to Star Wars?
would.
Yeah.
I'm just so unfamiliar with like what's the protocol on set for like who gets what when it comes to props, because I know like a lot of special effects guys, they'll take stuff that they
Yes.
worked on and like store it in their garage for 30 years or whatever.
Right.
But then like in other cases, like the studio might own it. It might end up like in a backlot storage somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never looked into like the logistics of who keeps props when a movie's done.
Well, back in the day too, like they would just tear down the sets and they just throw them away. And you're like,
yeah,
these are amazing sets. And so I think that's part of like where people would be like, well, I want to take some of this stuff. So there was a lot more liberty, I would say, back in early, 70s, 60s, 80s, but now like there's definitely got to be a protocol. You can't just be like, I am taking Kylo Ren's lightsaber. And it's like, well, yeah. Lucasfilm wants the real one, and maybe you can get a prop one. I mean, because they, clearly they're making many different, copies of these things, but it would be something nice to have something like from the set. I mean, dude, if I was some kind of extra, I'd be like, can I take something, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it is that simple. Just like whoever first claims it, or like, hey, can I take this? Sure, right. I guess.
Sure, please do this, please. Yeah,
but it's like, but then I think like how much those like screen used like Luke Skywalker lightsabers go for, and I'm like,
oh,
when you're dealing with something like Star Wars, like there's immediately some value attached to it that like you can't just take that, right?
No, right. Well, and I think that's also what drives some of the value, is that like they didn't make as many as they did back then. And obviously, like when we talked about how they made the props and using the actual stuff from like a camera, those are rare. That's not like a thing that just comes out. Now most of these are casted and molded and all that kind of stuff. So it's all kinds of stuff like that you don't really see, or you see more often because it's manufactured now more than it is like taken from some rare camera for camera or something or whatever, like that. So yeah, so I would definitely take something. You have to.
Yeah, like if you had the chance, of course you'd take that.
Right, exactly. And then finally, we know about Baby Yoda. We know about the Grogu. And recently, Thanksgiving just happened, and Funko debuted a baby Grogu balloon. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so in this, of course, Aaron, after they debut this, of course, you guess what? There has to be merchandising. I mean, there has to
Of course.
But before we get to that, of course. But before we get to that, did you see Weird Al's Twitter post?
Yes, I did.
I think I shared in the chat. I just like, he's killing Twitter. The first one, he said something about there was a new Kid Rock video. He responded and said, just to clarify, that Kid Rock video is not me playing Kid Rock. That's actually Kid Rock.
Oh, I love that, man.
Everyone thought it was a parody, but no, it's really Kid Rock doing the thing. And so he slayed it last week with that post. And then in this post, he's in New York. He is like, I believe he has some kind of apartment, and he literally, I think the caption was like, just checking some emails. And as he's in the window, there's Baby Grogu's very familiar ears and stuff like that in the window. And it's just like, it's perfect. It's so much fun. But obviously, it wouldn't be, a nice balloon. There has to be merch. So this is coming from the New York Daily News. And again, Baby Grogu is so cute. He's great. It's Baby Yoda Funko products based on Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon on sale right now. So you can get at Funko Pop or Funko.com, you can get the Mandalorian floating Baby Yoda with the ball for a mere $35, Aaron. That's all you need.
Is this where Funko Pop jumps the shark? Like, I'm sure they have before, but is this the peak? We have a Funko Pop based on Grogu, based on Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon of Grogu.
It's kind of Inception. Yeah, it's a couple layers here. I've been really wondering when it's going to no pun intended, pop. Like, when is that? Yeah, I mean, what really amazes me about Funko is the licensing. They just have so much licensing. It's like, it's unreal. It's just unreal. Like, just to sustain that, they're a juggernaut when it comes to that. It's like they pretty much have any license, but one of the things that they are doing is they do a lot of different variations and that kind of thing, and different kind of products than just your normal bobblehead kind of big head
right
thing. But I am wondering, like, when is this saturation getting to a point where people aren't going to buy it? But it hasn't come yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's precisely because they came up with like the simplest formula that is just infinitely adaptable to any IP ever in the history of mankind.
Right.
And they can churn out a design in like a day, get it approved, and get it made. It's it's pretty much this generation's Beanie Babies.
Pretty much. Yeah, right.
So the
Cabbage Patch Dolls, Beanie Babies.
You remember
90s.
People were making a big deal about Beanie Babies being an investment and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy into this and they'll make $1 million one day." And now we all laugh, and we're gonna do the same thing with Funko Pops. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. But they do one of the things. I mean, again, we're not sponsored by Funko, but like they do enough details in each of the molds that really, it's not just yes, they're carbon copies, but like they do enough where it's unique, but like again, $35 for Parade. It's like, okay, now you're they're turning the machine, like, oh, we're gonna make this ultra cute thing, and then now we're gonna make a figure of that ultra cute thing that you can buy. They did have though some sweet Mando Funko jackets that they wore. I was like, so all the people that were holding the balloon for Grogu. Yeah, they had some sweet swag, but you can get that too if you wanted. You could get a Grogu using the Force parade pop tee for Mandalorian, $20 right there. That's reasonable. Or Grogu, this is the way pop hoodie, the Mandalorian, for a mere $45. So you get the bobblehead, you get the tee, you get the hoodie. I mean, what the heck, man? You know,
You have enough Star Wars yet?
Open your mouth wider, please.
Eat the corporate slop.
Right, exactly. So there you
Just
go.
kidding.
That
it is the
is-
time
yeah,
to give gifts. So
it is.
if you have that special
and
Grogu lover in your life.
right. You could get a keychain for $5. $5. That's all you need. Keychain, $5, Grogu. There you go. Stocking stuffer. Boom. Put in there.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
all right, that's all the news fit the print for this week, Aaron.
That means it's time to scroll down in my notes to Cantina Chat.
Aaron, you were
All right, the
still
part
on
of the show where we
intro.
talk about everything geeky weird going on with our lives. Todd, what's going on?
You were still stuck on the intro. You're like, I don't know where my notes are at.
Yep. Had a
We
bit of
write
lag.
it. We have a tight ship here, but sometimes we just go off the rails here. For Cantina Chat, okay. Watched 8-Bit Christmas on the old HBO Max.
8-Bit Christmas.
It is fantastic. It, no pun intended, pushes all the buttons for me. It's about Neil Patrick Harris is a father, and he's reminiscing about a Christmas long ago in the 80s.
I saw a trailer for this.
And it's filmed in Chicago. It's about Chicago. It's about Nintendo. It's a sweet spot for me. So it's really well done. I so enjoyed this. I was laughing the whole time because I was like, yep, making that annual trip down to downtown and checking out all the toys. And
do they have the galloping ghost in there?
Do not have the galloping ghost in there.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I know. But if you're interested in a new Christmas movie, you've seen them all, I would highly recommend 8-Bit Christmas. Yes. So really did enjoy that. Let's see. Had a good Thanksgiving. It was fun. Just hung out with the family, which was cool. Did a little online shopping, not too much. We have a tradition in the Hoffman household. We just go regular shopping Friday afternoon after everyone's like in full catonic zombie state, and we just go in there like we own the place. Like, hey, what's up? Just getting some Cheerios, and so we've been doing that for quite some time because like everybody, it's always empty in the afternoon, and we just like ride in like we're a boss, So we do that. So did that. Trying to think what else. Playing some 4s of 5, which is very cool, very next gen. It's cool. It's cool. Very hop in and play. Looks beautiful. Snagged some Spider-Man tickets today. So if you're not familiar, Spider-Man No Way Home went on sale last night and broke the internet. So movies are back. Yeah, so all the movies died last night. It went on sale at midnight and they all crashed, but I was able to get some tickets. So I was happy about that. Listening, if you want to try audibletrial.com/WSTR, you can get a 30-day trial, but I am reading or listening to Thrawn, A Lesser Evil, I think is the last trilogy. And it's huge. It's a lot of Mark Thompson. It's I think it's at 24 hours. I think I mentioned this last week. I think it's like 24 hours of audio. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, that I've been listening to that, a little bit of that, and yeah, I'm getting excited for C2E2's coming up. So excited for that. I'm working on a little talk about cosplay. I'm trying to get this backpack done that I've had sitting around, and I'm like, oh, I should get this done for C2E2, and I've only got like 10 days to do it. It's fine. So
for your TK,
that, but TK, yeah. So,
okay.
Gonna do a heavy weapons trooper from Battlefront 2, the good one back in the day. So
nice.
Yeah, so trying to put that all together. It is probably not going to happen, but I'm going to make my best effort. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So, Aaron, how about you?
Well, Todd, doing a brief write-in on Carla's behalf because she was in our neck of the woods the other day. She went down to St. Louis, and I don't think any of us could make it out there, but she had some deep dish pizza for the first time.
We had a little debate on the chat. Yes, we did. Yes.
Yeah. She was polite, but clearly has some favorites, and it's not from Chicago.
Right.
But yeah, I announced last week that I had a dog. I no longer have a dog.
Oh.
Yeah,
Tell us the story here. What's the story here?
Yeah, we found her owner the night before Thanksgiving. It was strange. It was a friend. It was a friend of a coworker of a friend.
Let's just back up.
Yeah. So backing up,
your friend found the dog close by where you live, or just
close by where she works.
Okay,
over on the west side.
Got it.
Found this French bulldog just out on the street. No collar. Later we found no chip.
No tags.
No chip. No tags. Nails were all long, just unwashed. Not looking good. So we took her in, and me and my roommate and the two gals below us decided to take her in and just kind of share responsibility for taking care of her.
Wow.
And we scoured all the missing dog posts, all the missing dog sites that we could find.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Took him into the vet, not chipped.
Yep.
So we're like,
yep.
What you're supposed to do, quote unquote, is like take them to a shelter, and there's like it's supposed to be like a minimum waiting period that the owner can come and claim them. Problem is the neighborhood where she was found, there are no animal shelters. And all the shelters by us were like full to capacity, to the point that they were waiving adoption fees just to like get these animals out.
Get them out.
So we're like, all right, we're probably going to be able to take care of her better than in a shelter.
Yes.
So
yes, of course.
So yeah, she we named her Bougie.
Bougie.
Because she had a very rare merle pattern. For a French bulldog, which she also had like 2 colored eyes, and she's an expensive dog.
Attitude.
We'll put it that.
She had some
tude. She was pretty stubborn on some things. She was pretty much a princess. So we're like, Bougie.
Right.
And
Bougie.
she became a little buddy. She's basically by my feet all day while I was working. Like I have this leather office chair, and has like the 5 spokes on the bottom with the wheels, and she would like nestle in between like 2 of those little legs and just kind of like nap while I was working. And I fell in love with that dog. And
so then what happened? Take us to Wednesday. What happened?
The night before Thanksgiving, a friend of a coworker of a friend found this like Facebook post of this guy who's like, he's basically posting like every day like since she went missing, looking for his lost French bulldog. And she's very distinctive. this dog. So he had pictures and video of her, and she matched. So originally the guy was like, it's like 10:30 at night, and he's like, like, bring her over. I want to pick her up now. And we're like, we're not meeting a stranger at night. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
we arranged for the following morning, and we arranged to meet at a police station. And even then, I was kind of like, I don't feel good about this.
Yeah.
And so because this guy was offering a reward for finding the lost dog, and I promise you, this is a Star Wars podcast. But he was promised this reward for a lost dog, and it's a thing where they'll like promise you a reward and then like hand it over, and then some of their friends will like come and jump you like right after that to get the reward money back. So I'm like, even at a police station, I'm not sure. So suffice it to say, I had some armed protection with me through a friend for the swap. I don't know. It felt like a gun running deal in a movie, but it was this dog. And yeah, it went smoothly, went okay.
Yeah.
Except the guy didn't have the money with him. He sent to his girlfriend, I think, and his dad, and like they got the dog, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll sell you." He did not sell me. He asked him straight up. He did not have the money. So I don't know. And based on what they said about how the dog got out, like they basically just like left the gate open, and she wasn't collared or chipped, even though she was like 6 to 8 months old.
Right.
I can't make too many assumptions about this guy. I know that's dangerous, but I get the impression that he's not the most responsible pet owner out there. And he's promising to like, if she has a puppy in the future, that we can have one for free. And I'm like, we're not getting this money. So it's kind of a bittersweet Thanksgiving where it's like I would have returned her without the reward, but the fact that you lied about it, and it feels like I did the right thing and like was punished for it almost.
Right. Well, and the fact that like he didn't come, but he sent his dad and his like, what's that about?
I don't know. I'm taking time out of my Thanksgiving to make this happen, and
right, exactly.
It's shady. It didn't sit right. So kind of a bittersweet Thanksgiving, but she's back with her family for the holidays. And she got a lot of love and attention and was cared well for.
Do we find out what her real name was?
Stellar. Which I think is because I think because Stellar, I guess her fur pattern and color and everything, it could kind of look like a galaxy.
Sure.
I don't know, but yeah. So she will be missed, but also easy come, easy go.
Right.
So yeah, I was pretty sad about that, but also with Cantina Chat and somewhat related to this, Saturday was like a rare Saturday where I had nothing to do and I was just feeling bad.
Okay.
So I ended up reinstalling Jedi Fallen Order, and I started playing it, and I looked at the clock and 11 hours had passed.
You took it to the extreme.
Yeah.
Did you
probably
move? Did you get some chips or some drink, or
I ate eventually. I'm somewhat exaggerating, but yes, it was 11 hours that I played.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, but it was rare that I had like no responsibilities for an entire day, and so I'm like, you know what?
This is what adulting's about.
I'm gonna distract myself for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the game's awesome, and it didn't completely come out of nowhere. I have a friend who streams, and he's been streaming Jedi Fallen Order, and I've been kind of watching his streams for the past week or so, and I'm like, okay, I'll reinstall. And I'm like, Man, that game still holds up. It's awesome. I know it's only a couple of years old, but it's amazing
great.
in every way.
Yeah. I like that. The one of the things that I like about the game is hard.
Yeah.
I like that. I like, and it's not like it teaches you, but it doesn't like, here's flashy object over here and you need to go here. And it's like,
right.
I kind of like that realistic. I mean, obviously every video game you kind of like, okay, yeah, I jump here and I get all this stuff. But like at the end of the day, it's still very hard. And I'm like, I'm getting punked by that toad. I'm getting punked by this rat
Bogdo,
thing.
dude.
Yeah. It's like, dude, like I remember playing that for the first time. And I'm like, this toad is this isn't Battle Toads. This dude is like kicking my butt. And it's like, oh, now I gotta like learn a pattern and parry and do all these fun stuff. I mean, that's something that's refreshing. It's not as bad as Dark Souls where you're just like getting destroyed, but it's enough where it's like, you know what? I want this to be difficult, and like I'm not gonna, I need to level up and do all these things, and I really did enjoy that part of the game.
Yeah. Dark Souls, you only play if you're a masochist. Jedi Fallen Order, it's like they treat you like you're not an idiot, and that like you can observe and learn things,
Yeah, exactly.
And it has a great story attached to it. I learned Travis Willingham from Critical Role. He's a voice actor. He voiced Jaro Topal, Cal's Jedi Master.
Yes.
I'm like, as soon as he started talking, I'm like, I know that voice.
Yeah, guys.
So
yeah,
it's great. I'm gonna finish it, not in another 11-hour stretch, but something like that.
That is most impressive that you went.
Well, it's been a while since it's without getting too into it. It was a perfect storm of a bunch of different ingredients. It's unlikely to happen again. So
well, but you had the opportunity to do it and you did it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So and then I'm still reading Hard Contact, a Republic Commando novel.
Nice.
It's great.
Is that by Karen Travis, right?
It is the whole trilogy of them.
Yes. Yeah. Really good. Really well done.
Yeah, that's about all I got. Which means
that's all you got.
Which means we're about done with this episode of WSTR.
All right.
So thanks again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. You can find us on the socials. Heather at Hawk Awesome, Carla at Carla Marie Giac, Todd at Tizad, myself at Aaron Julian, and we're part of the Red 5 Network, a wonderful network of some good old-fashioned Star Wars podcasts out there. You can find them at Red 5 Network, and of course ourselves at WSTR Media. We want to hear from you, so please comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcasts. If you give us a 5-star rating, we'll throw some WSTR swag right in your face. No refunds.
Slap it.
We'll retweet or email us a screenshot of the rating, and we will read it on the next podcast.
It's true.
We are 2 episodes away from our 250th episode. I don't know what kind of milestone that is, but also our 5-year anniversary. How about that? I didn't think we'd make it this far,
dude.
I didn't think, but yeah, it's it will be an episode long.
You know what it is, dude. We didn't plan it, and that's why.
Yeah, this is not some carefully crafted, scheme to make money or whatever. We're just
no. Well, clearly we're not making money, but the thing is, if money's all you want, that's what you'll get. But we didn't really like, hey, let's make it to episode 100, or let's make it to, like, we never really set a goal like that. So now that it's like, we were talking the other day, and like, we are literally like at 250 and we're coming up to the 5-year. I'm like, it kind of smokes my noodle a little bit. So,
Yep. So,
anyways,
with that in mind, please drop us an email at mailbox@wstrmedia.com or leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Leave us a voicemail, drop us a line. We would love to hear your favorite WSTR moment, your favorite episode, what sticks out most to you when it comes to WSTR. We would love to have that available for our 250th. So please, tarry not, don't delay. Send that in, and we would love to have that as part of our historic 250th episode and 5-year anniversary.
There you go.
You can catch our entire back catalog of episodes at podcast.wstrmedia.com. We got merch over at store.wstrmedia.com, and we're on Patreon.
I need to pause right there.
A PSA from Todd.
Yeah. I'm going big. I'm going big today, and we're going to go big all week since you probably won't hear this till Wednesday, obviously. Cyber Mondays today of this recording. So
yes,
WSTR CM for Cyber Monday 50% off the merch for the whole week. Let's do it. Get your merch and get something for yourself, get something for your loved one, get something for a total stranger. Like, you gotta listen to this podcast. We're gonna run it till Friday, Cyber Monday. So it's WSTR CM50 for all your merchandise needs.
Perfect. That's your reward for listening through my sob story of a dog tail. I'm sure Todd will tweet it out too, but yeah, don't miss it.
I will. Right.
We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/WSTR Media. Come listen to me go on for hours about running my Star Wars tabletop game, or Carla's Costuming Corner, Heather's Holocron. Lots of great content on there. Enjoyed by fans that support the show that you can't get anywhere else. And thanks everybody on YouTube for hanging out with us in the YouTube chat. We stream at livestream.wstrmedia.com every Monday night ish at 9:00 Central Standard Time ish.
Right.
See,
we don't plan that
Wilk.
Either.
Yeah. Thank you to Julie Wilk for coming on the show. You can find her on Instagram, juju_creative.cosplay. That's JUJU_creative.cosplay. All right. The first annual Parsec Awards was broadcast this past weekend on the 27th. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, please go and check it out on the Red 5 Network YouTube channel. It was a fun little award show that celebrates the pop culture of this past year, and we played a small part on it. So it'd be great to...
We did. It
might
be the longest segment on there. I don't know. We were just a bunch of chatty Cathys. I saw everybody. I watched a little bit over the weekend and was in the live chat. Ro and Andrew did a fantastic job on this thing. But when we got to our segment, I was like, oh, we are just talking here. It was great. It's great. So it's just celebrate, it's a little award show to celebrate this past year's all the different stuff. And so we presented the best new show. So you have to go check it out and check out the replay.
Right on. All right. Next week, episode 249, we'll be returning to our segment Contributions as we look at animator Rob Coleman from the prequels. All right, Todd, there's only one way to end this program, this broadcast. Now, this is podcasting.
I was waiting for you to say many different things like program, podcast, show.
Oh, broadcast, whatever you have.
Coin-operated boy sitting on the shelf. He is just a toy, but I turn him on and he comes to life, automatic joy. That is why I want a coin operated boy. Made of plastic and elastic, he is rugged and long lasting. Who could ever ask for more? Love without complications galore. Many shapes and weights to choose from. I will never leave my bedroom. I will never cry at night again. Wrap my arms around him and pretend. Coin operated boy. All the other real ones that I destroy cannot hold a candle to my new boy, and I'll never let him go. And I'll never be alone. And I'll never let him go. And I'll never be alone. 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 Not with my coin operated boy. This bridge was written to make you feel smitten with my sad picture of girl getting bitter. Can you extract me from my plastic fantasy? I didn't think so, but I'm still convincible. Will you persist even after I bet you $1 billion that I'll never love you? And will you persist even after I kiss you goodbye for the last time? Will you keep on trying to prove it? I'm dying to lose it. I'm losing my confidence. I want it. 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 I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you. I want a coin operated boy. And if I had a star to wish on for my life, I can't imagine any flesh and blood could be his match. I can even take him in the bath. Coin operated boy. He may not be real, experienced with girls, but I know he feels like a boy should feel. Isn't that the point? That is why I want a coin operated boy with a pretty coin operated voice, saying that he loves me, that he's thinking of me, straight and to the point. That is why I want